Hey, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Bolt Crew podcast. Dave Palais, Josh Palais, and Mario Heron getting ready for the Chargers' big game Sunday morning, Pacific time, of course, 10 o'clock against the Carolina Panthers. Chargers looking to go 2-0 on the season. Always exciting to say they got a chance to keep that winning streak going and stay undefeated. Hey, 1972 Dolphins, look out. Chargers are right on your tail. Again, we want you to subscribe to the show. We want you to like the show. At the same time, even if you don't like it, just throw the thumbs up. You're already here. What else are you doing? So at the same time, when speaking of that, the comments and everything else, you guys are killing me on some of these comments here. I love the people that say, can't stand you, don't think you guys know anything about football, but I'm back at it for every single show. That's fine. We're used to it. That's fine. But that's my entire life you just described. My neighbors don't like me either, but they talk to me every single morning, so I don't know what to tell you. So the fact that you guys are here, we'll take it. Maybe we'll win you over. Maybe you can win us over in the chat. We'll take that as well. Sit there and state your argument of where we're wrong, because, again, we're getting a ton of Quentin Johnson comments of saying, hey, you guys are too tough on this guy. I see, Josh, you push back a little bit on Quentin Johnson in the replies, because I said we respond to everything you guys put on YouTube. If you have a question in there, we will respond to it. But I do find it fascinating that when people who say we don't know football, you can think whatever you want about that. I'm looking at a guy right here in the corner next to me, in the screen next to me, who played Division I quarterback for Alabama, kind of understands what's going on. He explained it perfectly if you guys went through the comments when someone said, you guys say QJ ran the wrong route, Herbert threw the wrong spot. So you guys are now saying QJ knows more than what Justin Herbert's saying too. Josh, I thought you broke it down perfectly, and what Tony Romo called out as well. Just because he's on your team and wears your uniform, it might be your favorite player, doesn't mean he's always doing the right thing. The fact that we have people that are Charger fans that are taking QJ's side over Justin Herbert's side at this point blows my mind. Completely amazed.
Dave and I had this conversation the other day. Just because a player is on your team doesn't mean that you can't criticize him. As a fan, you have every right to criticize a player on your team, but you should also give them praise when they do well. If Quentin Johnston doesn't make the right play mentally, then you should be able to criticize him. Why not? Tony Romo did the same thing. Do you think I'm going to listen to somebody on Twitter or the YouTube comments over Tony Romo, an NFL quarterback? You're insane. If the safety is over the top, you break it off earlier so the quarterback can fit the ball into the window. It's not that hard. I had somebody on Twitter write, I just realized they call it the nickel defense because there's 5 DBs. Those are the type of people we're arguing with, by the way. So for all you people out there that want to give QJ a pass, go ahead. You can do whatever you want. But as a Charger fan, I feel like you should treat QJ like the first-round receiver that he was drafted as. Obviously, was too high. But to say he needs to catch the passes, only throw to him when there's nobody around, and all the other ones we can forget about. If it's contested, don't expect much. Bull crap. He's a first-round pick. If it's a contested catch and he's 6'3", he should be able to come down with a few of those. Mario, am I being crazy here?
No, you're not being crazy. And I think the only person you should listen to in sports media is Shannon Sharp. I mean, that guy really delivers it. You know, on Instagram Live every day, he just really, he's really real about it. No, I think it's Yana's point, man. And it's, hey, we're here to critique. Our job is to critique, so we critique. And we try to be 100% real about it with everything that we see. Not try to be too biased of our guys versus someone else's guys, and we do our best to keep it real. And we kept real about Joe Alt, ended up playing pretty well. And what do you know? A lot of people in the media are big fans of him, and that's always good. When your first-round pick looks good, wish we could say that for 2 years in a row, but hey, we'll get there with QJ.
I think a lot of times when you talk about sports, and obviously money's involved, and we've kind of discussed a little bit about this, is that as fans, we never see the players' money, yet people want to make a big deal about guys getting their money. As fans, all we want, and tell me if I'm wrong on this, we want the players to play up to their contract. When a team sits there and signs you to a deal, we want you to play up to that contract. That means they're saying you're worth it. So play what is worth a player that makes so-and-so. So if you're a first-round pick, we want you to play up to the ability of what a first-round pick is. What is QJ capable of? I don't know. I hope the ceiling is basically, extremely high and he can get there. But right now he's not there. So to defend him doesn't make any sense. I see comments already about, Bosa on the side. Do I own a Bosa jersey? I don't own a Bosa jersey. We'll never buy a Bosa jersey. He can have 37 sacks this year. I'm not buying a Bosa jersey. I saw a guy the other day in the store wearing the white Bosa jersey. I was going to take a picture and post it next to him, going, Joey Bosa's let himself go. Guy looked terrible. But at the same time, I'm not buying a Bosa jersey. Okay, because if he does have 37 sacks, That's all back pay from what he owes Dean already from basically not living up to his contract. It's the guys that play up to the value of what they're worth. Know what's great as a fan? When you feel like a guy is underpaid. That means the guy's being exceptional. And that's the only thing we should care about. Unless you know these guys personally and they share a portion of that check with you, go ahead and complain all you want. But otherwise, you're a fool to fight for someone else's money.
I think fans get caught up, including myself. I'll put myself in this category over stats. Like if Justin Herbert throws 250 yards against the Panthers this weekend, I'm not betting. I'm not a gambling type of person. Even if I was, I'd rather the Chargers win. Like if Quentin Johnson has 5 catches for 50 yards and we lose, I'm not happy because he had a better game than usual. That's not how I think. I know a lot of people out there think, oh, we lost, but Joey Bosa had 2 sacks. Like, dude, we lost. Like, where's your priorities at? As Charger fans, I think the big thing that we're all looking for this year is beating teams that we're supposed to beat, including this weekend. We're playing the worst team in the NFL in the Carolina Panthers. We all should be thinking the same thing. Let's just beat down on the Panthers. If Justin Herbert throws for 125 yards, but we win by 2 touchdowns, then we should all be happy. Like Jackson Merrill for the Padres. Is he going to win Rookie of the Year? Is he not going to win Rookie of the Year? Like, can the Padres make the playoffs first before we decide awards? I think all fans get caught up in that too much.
I think there's nothing worse or painful than when your team's like not going to make the playoffs, like on the verge, and people like just continue to argue about should they win MVP, should they win Cy Young, like should they do that? Like, guys, can we just like have playoff baseball, playoff football, playoff basketball? Like that aggravates me to no end. Like I was doing that with Kobe White last year with the Bulls, and then I was like, well, does it even matter? Because they still kind of suck anyways, and I still hate my life, and I'm still in like abusive relationship with them. That's besides the point. Yeah, the Chargers got the Panthers this weekend, and we kind of mentioned it last show where it's the perfect team to kind of play in between the Raiders and the Steelers. And I have my score prediction. I have what I think is going to happen on Sunday, and if it's anything but an ass kicking, then I'm going to be kind of upset. Like I'm expecting it to really look like a tune-up game. What Notre Dame versus Northern Illinois should have looked like instead of the actual score, because Notre Dame's a joke. So that's what I really want to see on Sunday here, Dave.
I do too. I 100% want to see it. And I'm seeing people in the comments who are saying kind of what we were saying as far as, wins are what we care about as fans. I think that's where we've matured to. I think as Charger fans, you guys should be all in favor of that as we look to go 2-0 against the Panthers. What I mean is the Chargers have many years have been one of the more exciting teams in the league, right? Even in my lifetime as a kid, your guys' lifetime as a kid, right? We talk about that crazy stat where one year the Chargers led the NFL in offense and in defense, which never happens. That one team leads in both categories. How far did they go, Josh?
Didn't make the playoffs.
Didn't make the playoffs. I mean, it's crazy to think, but that has gone on for a long time. So real quick, Mario, and I know you'd ask me a direct question. There's so many people talking about jerseys on the side. Josh, we've already seen him with I'm trying to blank on
Derwin
on
James.
jersey. Derwin James jersey. I will say this: if you're looking to buy a jersey, because they're expensive, even the cheapest ones are $100-something. But if you're looking to go, like the authentic ones. By the way, if people have not figured this out, in case you're going, I want the best of the best. Like I want to wear exactly what Khalil Mack is wearing. Those jerseys, when they come, look like they're built for a 7-year-old. I mean, they're stretchy. If you notice, the players wear the shirt underneath, so it covers their stomach even. They are crazy small. Like you're like, how in the hell am I ever going to put this thing on? You better be in hella good shape before you go and spend the $360 for that jersey. I just want to give everyone a heads up when that jersey comes to the mail and you're like, wait a second, I think they sent me a medium when I'm a XXL. You're going to be shocked. But here's my suggestion for jerseys. As a guy who has bought a lot of bad ones, all right? Like there's a Vince Young jersey hanging in my tons of bad. I got a Vince Young jersey hanging in my closet. All right. No joke. I got a bunch of bad ones. It's hilarious. But here's my recommendation for anyone out there. Like Josh bought the Derwin James. Derwin James is one of the best Chargers out there, and he was young still when you got it. And if you're going to go for a Charger player currently on the roster, go with someone that you think one day is going to be in the Ring of Honor or going to lead you to a Super Bowl. But if you're going to sit there and go, someone said Khalil Mack. I love Khalil Mack. He's like one of my favorite guys. Like when Khalil Mack's done playing, I'll be extremely bummed out that he's not in the NFL anymore. But I wouldn't go Khalil Mack because he's getting older. How many years does he have left? There's a big investment in these jerseys. So for me, I'd go like a Justin Herbert deal, Derwin James, that kind of situation, which way you want to go.
What a reach.
Mario, I'm curious. Which way would you go? I already know which way Josh went. Which way would you go?
I'm just laughing at like you had that whole spiel. I was like, oh, he's gonna pull like a big like name out of the hat, and you just go with like the quarterback, like the
Yeah,
most
it's safe.
purchased jersey.
It's a
I
big
know.
investment.
I know, it just cracked you up. Gilman.
Would he really? You have
Yeah.
that much faith in his career? I give you credit for that, man.
Yeah, but I'm a big fan of the players that like would be Ring of Honor guys, but won't be
Yeah.
Hall of Fame guys. I love that like gray area. That's my favorite. Like if I was a professional athlete, if that ever was in the works in some alternate reality, or maybe I was given steroids when I was little, I would live to not be a Hall of Famer, but to be a Ring of Honor guy. Like I love that good old medium. I don't know why. It's my favorite thing. Yeah.
We're
It's
a hero
only
in
a
that
legend
city,
in one city.
But if you wear it in that city, but if you wear it like 2,000 miles away, people are going, what the hell? I love the person
Exactly.
that says Cameron Dicker. Just to walk around with the jersey says Dicker on the back is kind of funny.
Yeah.
You know, go ahead.
Scratch off the ER.
Yeah. you're all set. I don't know. I'm always curious to know what direction guys go. My buddy Sean, who's a season ticket holder with the Chargers, was born on the day that Kellen Winslow had the big game in Miami. For people that are close to my age, I'll remember the game. I mean, some people say it's the greatest game in NFL history, but it's the day that I fell in love with the Chargers, of going, who's this guy number 80 doing everything? He has an authentic Kellen Winslow white jersey, the same color he wore when he was playing against the Dolphins in that game. Wears it to every game. Doesn't change, doesn't buy a new one. He wears that same Kellen Winslow jersey every single time he goes to a Charger game, because guess what? That was the day he was born. At the same time, he's still a Charger fan. Even when they left San Diego, he's right there in the front row for every single game, cheering his team on. But anyway, by the way, for the people who are saying Joe Alt jerseys, look, if I ever decide to just let myself go and just go screw it, like I'm eating, 20 hot dogs a day and drinking 20 Coors Lights a day and just let myself go, I'm 100% going Joe Alt. Like, you can wear an offensive lineman jersey and just let yourself go. Like, just go with the 3X, 4X jersey, right? You can be a big guy and wear that jersey. You can't be a 4X guy and go ahead and wearing basically a Quentin Johnson jersey. Lad McConkey. I mean, you look like a fool.
Yeah. That's a big number though. Like that's a number where like you could be skinny, and if you wear that number, like you look fat. You know what I mean?
I'd love to see you bring back Daniel right here, Michael Bandy. I would love to see Mario get a Michael Bandy jersey.
I just Googled it and I just found his jersey that's currently
it's probably authentic. The one he wore, game used.
I gotta make sure this website's legit, because the old price was $239, which is just no way that's true.
It has to be his. Has to be his. Anyway, going back to the most important subject of the day, Mario asked me a direct question. Panthers, Chargers. The line has changed dramatically. We're going to get into our picks towards the end of the show. The line has changed from what it started out. I believe the line started, Mario, where Chargers are favored by 3. I think it's up to 6.5 right now. You might want to correct me on that one. So people believe that the Chargers are that much better than the Panthers. I'm with you, Mario, and I'm sure Josh was going in the same direction. It's not going to be a big psych out here. We expect the Chargers to go to Carolina and get a win. Anything less than a win, and an impressive win, I think would be surprising to all of us. I'll be lighting up, by the way. As I said to Josh, it will become customary on this show. Every time Chargers win, man, we're lighting up a cigar. I'm lighting up a cigar. I don't know if these guys can smoke where they're at right now, but we're going victory cigar for every one of these Charger wins. And I tell you right now, I have 21 of them ready to go.
Are you really going to smoke a cigar on Sunday?
Hell yeah, I am. You guys won't even see me. There'd be so much smoke.
I love that.
Sneak dogs joining the show.
I love that.
All right.
To talk about the Chargers-Panthers game, the reason the line went up is because the Panthers' best defensive player is out for the season. Derek Brown, the defensive lineman, Pro Bowler, who clogs up the middle, is out for the whole season. I mean, if the Panthers weren't already in trouble, they're in more trouble now. I have Gus Edwards on my fantasy team. I have J.K. Dobbins on my fantasy team. I'm throwing them both in there because I think the Chargers are going to run all over the Panthers in this game, just like the New Orleans Saints did. There is nothing the Panthers did right against the New Orleans Saints. For anybody that watched that game, you would have thought the New Orleans Saints were the best team you've ever seen in your life. Like, it looked like a college football team versus an NFL team. Poor Bryce Young out there just getting his ass kicked. He didn't play great either. But this Chargers team, I would imagine, is much better than the Saints, Mario.
10 times better. And for people that don't know how good and important Derek Brown is to this Panthers team, he's one of the only 2 Pro Bowlers on this roster. He's coming off a season where he finished with more tackles than any other defensive lineman in the NFL. He's a beast. He was the anchor in that defense in the middle, and with him out, the substitute for him is by company. So it's going to be a rotation of backup guys. And if you look at the guys backing them up, they're a bunch of journeymen. It's not guys that, have been in a solid spot, starting spot for a full year. It's guys that have been in and out of rotations for multiple different teams. You said it. All 3 phases of the game for the Panthers, stunk. There wasn't one positive thing in that game. Offense, mentioned last show, Bryce Young picked off first play of the game. First play of the half got picked off. The defense lit up scores on the Saints' first 9 possessions. The special teams even said, hey, we'll suck too. Gave up the block punt and a long punt return as well. They're really, really bad. That being said, and someone had it, and I'll go ahead and bring the question up here. Over under 250 pass yards for Herbert this week. I really don't think we're going to see a Herbert explosion game where he goes over 250 yards, maybe he hits 300 yards passing, not because he can't do it, not because the Panthers are going to shut it down, but because the Saints were able to really dominate the Panthers up front. 180 rushing yards total, 6.1 yards per play. With knowing that, I don't see Greg Roman, Dave, going, all right, we're not going to do that to them too. I just don't see him seeing those numbers with him being so run dominant and go, all right, no, we're going to go air it out, baby. Air raid, air raid. No, I think it's going to be a game where Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins both get into the end zone. I think we're still just going to dominate through the trenches and make it a slow, painful death.
Couldn't agree with you more. You kind of took my thunder a little bit right there. As far as looking at the schedule for the Chargers, to me, this is the Gus Edwards game. If I had to pick one guy, and I will later on the show, my pick to click, it's Gus Edwards, because this is one where I think the Chargers get the lead. They hold on to it. They're taking care of the clock. They're getting first downs. And this is the game where Gus Edwards shines more than any other game of the season. And this is why you kind of brought him in, right? They have faith in him, not to fumble the ball, but at the same time to be able to control it. This is where the offensive line gets to do what every offensive lineman loves to do. What do offensive linemen love to do most? It's run blocking, right? It shows you're a man. It shows everything you are, that everything that you're good at as far as being an offensive lineman. It's going forward. It's not going backwards, trying to keep guys off the quarterback. Justin Herbert will get his, but I don't think it's one of those, Mario's, I think you're alluding to, not where he throws for 350, 400 yards a game. It's one where the Chargers control the game from the very beginning all the way to the very end. And I think as much as we talked about J.K. Dobbins last week against the Raiders, I think in the post game, we're going to be talking about Gus Edwards the most.
I agree with that 100%. I think Gus Edwards is going to be the pick to click this game. I'd expect Gus Edwards throughout the season to have the touchdowns near the goal line and J.K. Dobbins to get us down there. For all you people saying on the comments here that, if Derek Carr can throw for 3 touchdowns, so can Justin Herbert. Of course, I believe the same thing. But the reason why Derek Carr only threw for 200 yards is because they kicked their ass. Derek Carr only threw the ball 23 times, 19 completions for 3 touchdowns. They won this game by 37 points, 47-10. If the Chargers go up big at the beginning of this game, I wouldn't expect Justin Herbert to air it out, right? You're not going to take the chance of him taking a hit. Greg Roman already doesn't throw the ball, and you don't really want to show too much going into the Pittsburgh Steelers game if you have this game in control. There's some things, Mario, when you look at this Saints-Panthers box score that really jump out at you and say, is this an NFL team? I'll give you an example. Alontae Taylor for the Saints had 3 sacks. You know what position he plays, Mario?
Corner.
Plays corner. A cornerback had 3 sacks.
I love the
NFL
corner blitz, but holy cow.
Have you ever heard of a corner having 3 sacks in an NFL game? Are we talking NFL football here?
Yeah.
That's just one of those things that jumps out to you. Bryce Young throwing an interception at the beginning of the first half and right at the beginning of the second half. That's something you don't see very often. Bryce Young's numbers, 13 for 30, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, only 161 yards. Another stat that I saw was only 1 quarterback in the NFL in week 1 threw for over 300 yards. That's nuts. Can you guys name that 1 quarterback? Hint, Charger fans hate him.
Mahomes.
That's a good one. But Mahomes?
Tua, the only quarterback that threw for over 300 yards.
Of course.
But just go back to what I'm saying. This Panthers team stinks. There's not one player on this team that scares me. And like I said, I think the Chargers are much better than the Saints. So I'd expect them to kick their ass just like New Orleans did.
Yeah. The one thing about the Panthers, is, look, if you're a Panthers fan or you trying to figure out what's the bright spot of this team, there's nothing to look forward to. I mean, it's not like, hey, we have this and we're building. Give us a couple years. There's not that window where if you're a Panthers fan, you go, things are going to be better in 2-3 years. You just don't see it. I mean, poor Adam Thielen right now, let's be honest. He's playing for the trade deadline, right? Adam Thielen has no business being on this team, being a veteran wide receiver. Who's going to get him the ball? Who has time to get him the ball? At the same time, he's not a number one, yet he's asked to be basically a number one for the Panthers. This is a really bad team. And we spoke about it. I know people were taking shots with the White Sox the other day. You can make an argument, like Josh said, this might be the worst organization in all of professional sports. This is really where the NFL owners and Roger Goodell made a huge mistake putting this owner in position.
Yeah, but honestly, at the same time, kind of happy because it's a good win for us in week 2. So thanks.
I'll take it. But
Yeah.
I was saying for us as a team that doesn't have any trophies in our trophy case, and you're like, we're looking for a bright spot. When we got Harbaugh, we kind of felt like that bright spot was there, and we have the franchise quarterback. Dude, they got nothing. I mean, you know what it is. I mean, the NFL is a religion, right? When you go anywhere and you say, "What's your team?" Everyone knows you're talking about an NFL team. They aren't talking about the Chicago Bulls or the Lakers. It's like, what's your team? The answer is always going to be an NFL team. That's how big this sport is. And to have no hope, holy cow, man. Get out and start cutting the grass.
And I think to go back to your point with like the corner having 3 sacks, that is so scary to think if you're a Panthers fan too, because when a corner's getting a sack, that means it's off a blitz. And when it happens that often, that means one, Bryce Young didn't see it coming, doesn't check or change a protection at all. And that's a kind of a bad sign for a young QB, right? Like that's obviously something that's very hard for young QBs to kind of get right, is changing the protection at the line of scrimmage, adapting a player, maybe changing the play. That's a hard thing to pick up on. But to not do that against a division rival in week 1 is just insane. I mean, that is a terrible, terrible just sign of, hey, things are not going to get better. Things are probably going to look a little bit more rough. And if you look also, I like the tea leaves of like everything the owner and GM and coach have been saying for the Panthers. Like you can noticeably see a decline in their language of coming into the season from like expect, a reconstruction to slowly them changing the language to, it's going to be more of a rebuild. Like, expect the first overall pick again. We're not going to be very good. But that being said, man, like if you're a Panthers fan, Josh, and like you're thinking on the bright side, I guess going into this game, I guess you say, well, their secondary is not as strong, maybe as as the Saints. Like I don't know what your bright side would be facing the Chargers.
The bright side facing the Chargers would be that their receivers aren't the type of receiving core that's going to take over a game. I think the Saints have a better receiving core than we do. I mean, I think everybody would say that with Olave and Shaheed. Alvin Kamara is a threat also in the backfield catching passes, which he did against the Saints. We don't have as many pass catching threats, but as a team, I'm taking the Chargers all day. Justin Herbert is much better than Derek Carr, and David Carr is better than him too. The thing about being a Panthers fan, why you'd be so down in the dumps, is there's not one player on this team besides Bryce Young where you're going to say, we don't know what he is yet. Like Dave said, Adam Thielen is, much older than me, and I don't play football anymore. I mean, this guy's old. You got Deontay Johnson that came over from the Steelers. He's not great. Miles Sanders, we know what he is. There's nobody on this team that's going to surprise you, Mario. Like they have a bunch of older guys that are already veterans that are on their way out of the league. It's hard to be a Panthers fan. And David Tepper, we've talked about this in the past, is an absolute psychopath, the owner for the Panthers. This is the same guy that got upset with the owner of a restaurant, ended up buying his restaurant, closing down the restaurant, then bought the guy's house, then burned the house to the ground, then built his house on the property. And he's a psychopath. I don't know how the NFL signed off on David Tepper joining the NFL. Why would you let a crazy person into your house?
Fired? How many coaches has he fired since he's been the owner? I mean, he's completely unstable.
A lot, man. And you got Dave Canales that's so hands-on, wink, wink. You don't know what the hell he is either. I mean, all these guys in Carolina are crazy. I mean, Bryce Young, I'm obviously biased. I'm an Alabama fan. He's surrounded by crazy people.
Dude, all right. So, Mario, I'm asking you this because I know you have something to say what he just said, but because you just moved from Chicago to D.C., they talk Bears all the time.
Yeah.
What do you think Panther fans were thinking when they're watching Hard Knocks and they're seeing DJ Moore get $100 million going, that was our guy. Like you actually had a weapon, but then you flipped him off. So that's okay. He can go somewhere else.
That has to be the biggest the most I want to egg that GM's and owners' house of all time. Because also, it's not like DJ Moore is an unlikable guy either. He's like one of the most likable guys. Like in the show, he is in interviews. If you ever listen to him in an interview, extremely likable, extremely respectful. Like answers every question. Yeah, family guy. Like he's literally a PR guy's dream to get. Like we have him. Like we don't have to worry about like what DJ is gonna do or say or anything like that. Like couldn't be better. And honestly, guys, it's just a failure. I think the Panthers are an example of a failure of what to do with a young QB. He's on his third OC or third offense, really, with Frank Wright being fired. He's in a completely different O-line. You surrounded him with no weapons. The only weapon he has is an old guy that's from Division II that had a couple good years in Minnesota. They got bounced. And then you have Leggett. Leggett's going to be good, but it's going to take a couple years. Like they did everything. It's defense on the other side's piss poor. They let Jeremy Chin go, which didn't really make a lot of sense. Like it's just a team that just that failed on so many different ends. And it's going to hopefully an easy. We're just absolutely taking a dump on them, like diarrhea over their face. It'd be very funny if they like beat us.
They won't. And no one's, I'm not
I know they won't, but it'd be funny.
Mike G's made a great point. He goes, Harbaugh doesn't lose to teams like this. Never has. Never will.
No.
Couldn't agree more. Appreciate the comments as I'm trying to catch up. AK, you made me laugh today. I know you said we ignored you and everyone gives you a hard time in here. First of all, what are you doing oversleeping? The show starts at 1. All right. But when he asked Josh in here, Josh, when you got married, did you tell your wife who has it better than us?
Did I? No, I did not say that. I forgot to say those things.
Instead, you woke up next to her like the next morning and then you just whispered in her ear, "Who's got it better than us?"
I know that's one of Dave's pet peeves in movies when people start talking to each other after they woke up. Like everybody knows your breath stinks. Why are you talking so close to each other?
Dude, It is a pet peeve of mine in movies. Mario, 2 things in movies drive me a little nuts. All right, I'm gonna throw them at you real quick.
I got one follow up. Yep.
Okay, one is when it's supposed to be like cold outside and it's snowing and you can't ever see anybody's breath. It drives me crazy. I'm like, I thought it's supposed to be cold outside. You guys are on a sound stage. I can't see your breath. It's not that cold. 2 is the whole deal when people they wake up to start making out. I'm like, hold on a second. Who are we kidding here? Get away from me with the dragon breath. Go in the bathroom, brush your teeth before you get on me. And we know both of you have to pee. So what's going on here?
All right, I'll push back on one. I'm a big snuggler and kisser in the morning, so I would.
Christ.
Yeah.
What relationship are you in right now?
I mean, bounce around. You gotta bounce around. Yeah,
maybe you should stop that. Maybe you should stop that.
Scaring them off.
Yeah, I will say my least favorite thing in movies and TV shows that they always do is after they like sleep with someone and they wake up in the morning and they just put jeans on or just put pants on with no underwear. I hate that. So I'm like, weird. No guy would do that. No shot.
That is so true.
Yeah, dude. It sends me. I'm like, dude, you wanna dress like that? Like, nope.
There you go.
God.
Completely off the rails. All right, I'm gonna throw you a random question.
Yeah.
All right. Give me your all-time favorite Panther and your all-time Panther you hated the most.
That's such a random question. I've never thought of that in my life.
Question. All right.
Yeah. The favorite Panther is like easy. I mean, I think it's most people's favorite Panther of this generation. At least, I mean, I think it is. Luke Kuechly. How do you not love Luke Kuechly? The dude's awesome.
So good, and unfortunately was with the wrong team. Like if Luke Kuechly played for the New York Giants, he'd be talked about as one of the greatest players of all time. Look at his numbers, how good he was.
Yeah. I was going to say Steve Smith. Steve Smith was mine because I thought it was always funny.
I think Steve Smith's a little bit annoying.
Fair.
Fair. With the senior on the back. When he played for the Ravens and told the Panthers, hey, when you go back, make sure my lawn is cut.
Yeah. He's funny, though. He is funny.
That's a good line.
Yeah, that's a good one. I hated the way he treated Jerry Jeudy on TV last year. Do you guys remember that?
Oh, yeah.
When he called him just a guy to his face. I'm like, come on, man. Like, I thought that was weak. Do you have an all-time Panther you hate? Like, I never even thought of a Panther
Cam Newton.
Just like
Cam Newton. Hate Cam Newton for a variety of reasons. One is he's an Auburn guy. Two is Cam Newton with the loose ball on the field in the Super Bowl did not dive on that ball.
Oh
I
yeah.
can't believe it. I mean, for us who are sitting there waiting for a trophy case to put something in it, to see you're there. I mean, Peyton Manning had nothing. I mean, he absolutely nothing. The Broncos won that Super Bowl on defense. Von Miller won that Super Bowl. And there's a loose ball on the field and you don't dive for it. That was the game.
That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in football. In the Super Bowl, you don't dive on the ball. Do you remember what they asked him the question after the game? Why do you dive on the ball? Do you remember what he said?
Business decision, right?
Yeah, business decision, and I'll be back here in the Super Bowl. He never got back. He never got back. Dude. And I have inside information. When he was with the Patriots, he was a complete asshole, through and through. Like, not a good guy to be around. If Cam Newton isn't the starting quarterback, he is not somebody you want to be the backup. He's a complete jerk. I hate guys that treat other people less than.
I would never forgive him. I mean, honestly, if I was a Panthers fan, it's unforgivable. I don't care if you bust your shoulder up like Drew Brees and have to open the sunroof to drive home because your arm doesn't go down. You got to die for that goddamn ball.
Another funny Cam Newton thing. Cam Newton, by the way, the best college football player I've ever seen. For that one season at Auburn when he won the national championship, I'll take that one season over any college football season I've ever seen. I still don't like him. Did you see the Christian McCaffrey thing about his wedding in the offseason with Cam Newton?
No. I want to say I did, but I forget.
Cam Newton was on a podcast and he said, it would have been nice to be invited to Christian McCaffrey's wedding, considering, we're teammates for 5 years or whatever it was. And Christian McCaffrey's response was, I have texted you for 3 straight years. You've never replied to me once. What are you talking about? I thought that's hilarious.
That's awesome. Yeah. There is a period. First off, that Auburn team, I think I've said this on this pod multiple times, but I'll say it again. That Auburn team that won the championship was one of the worst teams I've ever seen win a title in my life. Like, without him, they were terrible. He had a moment where he was cool, like that celebration. He created the dab, like that was kind of sick, and then he had a bad ball off, like really really bad. I'm trying to even think if there's any other Panther I really cared about.
That we've cared about. Christian McCaffrey, Julius Peppers. I'm trying to think of some of the best ones. Steve Smith, obviously.
Who was the white quarterback that they had that led him
Jake
to
Delhomme?
Was he the one that led him to the Super Bowl or NFC Championship? Yeah,
it was. Yeah,
I remember that one.
Yeah,
forgettable franchise, man.
By the way, as I took a shot at Cam Newton, I realized I missed a major one. Niner Gang points out Ray Caruth. Ray Caruth has to be your least favorite Panther.
One of the worst people ever.
Yeah, one of the worst people on the planet.
Mario doesn't know what we're talking about, huh?
I'm getting like 8,000 messages from work right now. Like, as soon as we started this pod, I have no idea what it's about. So either something's burning, something's needed from me, either or. They don't know that Bull Crew podcast is live right now on YouTube and they should subscribe.
Yeah, that's their problem. All right, do you guys want to get in the predictions for this week?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay,
let's go. You ready to go, Mario?
Bah! Now I'm ready. All right.
Okay, I got them all written down for you. Do you want me to read them out?
Read them out, Sugar Pie.
Okay. Okay, we got Thursday Night Football tonight. Division rival game. Dolphins at home taking on the Bills. Dolphins are favored by 2.
Dolphins are favored by 2. Josh Allen is 6-0 on Thursday Night Football. I got Miami still winning this game, and I got them to cover.
I got the Buffalo Bills. I bet them 2 days ago.
Did you really? Why?
I did. What do you mean why? Dude,
did Josh you see Buffalo against Arizona?
Dude, but that's like the classic Bills game, and I think Josh Allen dominates the Dolphins. Like, look at his stats against him. He rocks them. I don't believe in Miami. They're the team that they beat the puppies, but they can't handle the big dogs. And while the Buffalo Bills, I don't think are a big dog, Josh Allen is. I think Josh Allen wins that. Also, if you want a free bet that's make you money, Dalton Kincaid touchdown tonight. You're welcome.
All right, I'm going to Josh on this one. I'm going Dolphins. Actually, I would have bet it the other way. I think Miami plays big. At the same time, there's some Buffalo Bills players or former Bills players that are now on the Dolphins. I think this is going to be a big showing for Miami. Just my feeling. All right, next game up on the schedule, we have the Ravens. Ravens are favored by 9. They've had a lot of time to prepare. They're hosting the Raiders. Josh, all right, Gamara, you go first.
So you said you had the number 8.5 because I have 8.5 right now. I bet MGM.
I have 9 right now. What I just looked
you have
up
9?
9 Ravens.
son of a nutcracker. All right, then I'm gonna have to go Raiders. That's just such a big number. I know the Hardballs are probably were on FaceTime all week this week sharing notes.
Yeah.
But just 9's a big number, so I'm gonna go Raiders.
Josh.
I was gonna take the Raiders too, but I could see the Ravens just dismantling them. I'll take the Ravens cover.
Okay, I'm gonna go with I'll go Mario on this one. I'm gonna go with the Raiders at 9. Just seems like a big number as well. And again, if the Raiders fall to one of these teams, fall into 0-2 for sure, right? So yeah, we'll see. That game's in Baltimore, of course. Next game on the schedule, kind of interesting. It's a home game for Jacksonville. Jacksonville's favored by 3. They're taking on the Browns. Browns extremely disappointing last week. That being said, I'm going to take the Browns.
I'm taking the Browns too. I don't think they're as bad as they played in the first week. I think Deshaun Watson has a somewhat of a comeback game, no pun intended. I think the Browns win.
Mario.
I like the Browns. I think Browns have a slight bounce back, and then everyone kind of shuts up a little bit. But I hate this game so much. I don't want this game on my TV. I don't want this game anything near me. But I'm going to take the Browns.
With you.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
It's going to make me hate my life.
The next game, team on the road's favored. It's the Jets. The Jets are favored by 4 going to Nashville to take on the Titans. Did you see Bon Jovi being a hero yesterday right across the street from Nissan Stadium?
I did see that. That was a pretty cool video. I got the Titans covering. I think the Jets are pretenders. I think Aaron Rodgers is washed. You said Jets are favored by 4. I just don't think the Jets-Titans game is that close. I think the Titans actually win the game.
God.
What do you think, Mario?
All right, so this might be a high take for this game, but hear me out here, folks.
Okay.
Titans go up. Jets come back. They win this game and they cover. I think it's similar to the Bears game. I think the Titans are going to do this all year where they get an early lead and then they blow it away.
Something they wouldn't have done with Mike Vrabel. That's why they shouldn't have fired him.
Exactly.
I'm going to go I mess the Titans up every single time. Last week I did pick the Bears, but I'm going to go Titans as well. That 4 on the road seems kind of big to me. Next game up on the schedule, road team again favored. It's the 49ers. 49ers are favored by 5.5 over the Vikings. And I'm going to take the 49ers in this one.
I think 49ers or Chargers lead the week in scoring. I think 49ers could easily put up 40 points against the Vikings. I could see the Chargers putting up 40 as well against the Panthers. I think 49ers just kill them.
All right, my hot take of the week. Put it up, get ready to leave it in or cut it, and I'm talking to myself because I'm the one that has to do that. Vikings plus 5.5, baby. Kevin O'Connell, Sam Darnold knows that team pretty damn well. O'Connell's from the same coaching tree. It's in Minnesota. Vol, whatever the Skull. It's Skull, not Vol.
Skull.
It's Skull. Yeah, Skull. I think they get going over there, man. I like the Vikings to cover, and I've actually bet this. 5.5 is a terrible number, by the way. That makes me want to freaking hit myself.
Next game again, road team favored. It's the Seahawks, big time travel, going all the way to New England to take on the Patriots. Both teams 1-0. Seahawks are favored by 3.5. Mara, you go first.
Another game where I'm probably not going to watch it all, but give me Seahawks in that one. I think Patriots come back to hell. Not to the ground. They go back to hell.
I just can't imagine the Patriots win 2 weeks in a row with that roster. I'm with Mario. I think the Seahawks cover and win.
All three of us, same thing. We all have the Seahawks covering, winning this game. By the way, if you're in one of the fantasy leagues with us in the Bulk Crew fantasy leagues, why you guys offer me crazy trades? Am I the only guys getting offered crazy trades?
Yeah, you are.
Okay,
Yeah, you
I
are.
am. Like literally, it
shows that they can take advantage of you.
Okay,
They think you're not very smart.
Me the Falcons defense for like Christian McCaffrey, like those kind of trades. What are we doing? Why you guys waste my time? All right, here we go. Dallas Cowboys at home. They're favored by 6 over the New Orleans Saints. Josh.
Saints. The Cowboys aren't that great, man. It's just people watch too much TV. You know, Shannon Sharp, when he's not having sex on Instagram Live, he's telling you how great the Cowboys are. I just don't think they're that great. I think Saints cover.
Yeah, him and Michelle, man. Him and Michelle. What are you gonna do,
Dude? I know I said this to you guys in the chat, but kind of crazy. It sounded just like DMX. Rest in peace.
Also, dude, can we get his regiment? Buddy's big. Like, dude,
What?
he's still a body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That was probably a weird take on my part of the whole thing. Was someone was like talking about that? I'm like, dude, I can't believe how big he is, and everyone's like, that's what you're focused on. I'm like, I'm just, you know, just saying, it's pretty at that age. All right, guys. I got Cowboys actually in this one, which that's gonna be the bet that kills me.
I'm going with Mario on this one. I'm going Cowboys as well. I'm going to go Dallas Cowboys at home. I know 6 is a big number, but I'm going Cowboys. Commanders on the road. This is the game right here that if we say all the time, if all of a sudden they go, look, we want you 3 guys in the booth, we're giving you a game, they would give us this one. It would be the Commanders taking on the New York Giants. Commanders are favored by 1.5.
Oh my God. Jaden Daniels, I think, is going to have a good game. I'll go Commanders, I guess. This is easily the worst 2 teams matching up.
I'm going Commanders as well, Mario. Which way are you going?
In the poop bowl, Commanders.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have the Indianapolis Colts on the road favored. When's the last time you saw the Packers that weren't favored on the road unless they were playing a team that was an elite team? The Colts are favored by 2.5 over the Packers. Malik Willis getting the start.
Holy hell. Man. Wow. I'm going to go Packers still. I think Packers just have a better team. Yeah.
Mario, what do you say?
This is weird for him.
You think I'm gonna be doing a bit right now? But I'm not. I actually love the Packers in this game.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, like I bet them already. And like it's like one of my more favorites.
He's a closet Packers fan.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. I will travel to Nashville and burn your house down. No,
every house down just to make sure you got his. People say to me.
Yeah, just let it burn. No, if there's one thing Matt LaFleur and the Green Bay Packer organization is really good at doing is whenever there's a backup QB, they somehow still win. Like Matt Flynn got paid a huge contract by Seattle for no freaking reason because of that. They do a great job with it. I think no film on that hurts the Colts. Matt LaFleur is actually a very good offensive mind head coach. I think they can still win that game, especially at home in Green Bay against the Colts. Like AR is good, but he's good every 6 plays. Other those plays he bots out. So I'm with it.
I'm going the other way on this one. I'm going Colts. You want to see a quarterback that has no idea what a clock is in his head, meaning how much time you have to throw. It is Malik Willis. I've never seen anything like it. Like, I don't know what's going through his head. Like, he thinks it's high school where he has 4.5 to 7.5 seconds to make a decision. Good God, dude. You do not have that much time. He is the worst I've ever seen when it comes to an NFL clock and what's going on in your mind. Maybe he's complaining that they aren't counting to 5 Mississippi, but dude, he is brutal back there in the pocket. He is brutal.
Give him a better OC. Seriously, let's see what he can do.
All right. Well, he has a good one now, right?
Yeah. Let's see what he can do with LaFleur.
Let's see.
Weapons
all right.
bad.
This is one of the most interesting lines to me going. It's the Detroit Lions at home. They're favored by 7.5 over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I don't know where the hell they get that line from. Like, the Bucs aren't that bad, and
they
the
aren't.
Lions. I don't think the line look very good against the Rams.
They didn't. I'm taking the Bucs.
I'm taking a high-scoring game. I think this is going to be both teams in the 30s. I like the Bucs to cover. I don't know if they win, but I like the Bucs to cover.
So about you said highest scoring game. They had the highest total on the board for the weekend too, 51.5. So something for that. I'm with you guys. I kept looking and this moved a lot, by the way. This was at 6, I believe, on Sunday. So it's all the way to 7.5. So people like really betting the living crap out of Lions. I don't get it. The Rams were down like half their own line. Puka Nacua got hurt. Cooper Kupp was getting the only targets, and like the Lions still almost lost that game.
Yep.
I'm taking the Bucs to cover. If they win this game, guys, or keep it within, let's say, like 3, are they a top 5 team in the NFC? Like automatically, you think? This
Good
early.
Question. If they beat the Lions, they're for sure a top 5 team in the NFC.
Yeah. Based on the evidence we have now, you have to put them up there. Yeah.
I would.
I'm with you. All right, so all 3 of us have Buccaneers to cover that 7.5 point spread. Next game on here, this is a game I would bet as well. It's the Cardinals at home. They're favored by 1 against the Rams. I know the Rams have some major injuries, but at the same time, I thought the Rams looked like one of the better teams in the NFL this past weekend. They have wide receivers that are ready to step in for Nakua. At the same time, they have injuries at both tackles. The Cardinals don't impress me. Kyler Murray does not impress me. I would go Rams on this one.
I'm going Cardinals. I think the Cardinals win this game. I just think the Rams team's not very good. I don't think the Cardinals are good either, but Kyler Murray plays well at home. I know he's Matthew Berry's pick to click, which he's been on fire for the last 3 seasons. I know a lot of people don't like Matthew Berry, but he picked Kyler Murray to have a breakout season. I thought they played well in Buffalo. It's not an easy place to play. Now they're back at home. I got the Cardinals.
I don't blame you for that. Rams have a lot of guys out this weekend. It's a divisional game. That's going to be tough in Arizona. Kind of drama in Arizona, though. Kyler Murray, he got misquoted on it. Like, don't get me wrong, of not my job to get the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr.
When it's his job.
Yeah.
How do you get misquoted
It's literally his job.
So what I mean by that is like what he said before makes sense, but like if you just take that out, it looks really bad. But he says it's like his OC was saying it's his job to get it to Marvin, not Kyler's job. But it's just again bad. Just don't. The correct way is just shut the hell up. Just you know what I mean. That's a correct way to answer that whole damn thing. I like Rams. I'll go ahead and take Rams in that.
You like the Rams on that one as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Next game up on the schedule. It's a game that matters to us with our division, and that, of course, is the Denver Broncos. It's their home opener taking on the Steelers. Steelers are favored by 2.5 in this game.
See, what do you got, Mario?
This is going to be under, if anything.
How bad does it hurt Russell Wilson that he doesn't get to play against his team, his old team?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Didn't even think about that.
I got Steelers. I think Broncos suck. How about that? Suck. I got Pittsburgh.
Sure, I'll go Pittsburgh.
You don't sound too confident.
I don't. I hate that game with everything.
You love Bo Picks, as they've already given him that nickname. It's tough. All right, I'm going Pittsburgh Steelers as well in this one. I don't think this one's – it's a game, again, not a lot of interest in watching, but it's definitely one of those games where I think the Steelers are just a much better team. Next up on the schedule, it's the Chiefs taking on the Bengals. The Chiefs home opener, the Chiefs are favored by 5.5. I'm going to go first in this one. I'm going Chiefs, man. Really disappointed in Cincinnati the way they looked. And at the same time, Joe Burrow obviously has an injury that they don't want to address. They don't want to talk about the wrist that's still injured. If you see Joe Burrow couldn't
pick up a water bottle.
Yeah, can't even pick up a bottle to drink out of.
How the hell is that possible?
But yet you expect him to handle a football and getting hit. But dude, the Chiefs, like this game should be the game of the week, but it's not. Bengals always struggle at the beginning of the year. I just don't like the Bengals at all right now. Bengals safety talking crap about Xavier Worthy. He can only run straight. Okay, so now you know running by it doesn't matter. I got a Ferrari. So now you know fast, especially when I'm going straight. Yeah.
I can already picture in my head Xavier Worthy running on like some type of slant route or something for a touchdown, just because the guy said that. I saw the Jamar Chase turn down $35 million a year. It was 30 or 35 million a year, which I think is nuts. I think the Chiefs win this game. And I think they win by more than 5.
I bet this game on Sunday night, and then I bet it again on Tuesday, just because I loved the double down. I thought I could double my money with it. I love the Chiefs on this game.
Okay, I was about to say.
Yeah,
if you want Bengals, dude, I think we'd kick you off the show.
No, Bengals are an absolute circus. They're the circus team of the week, I think. Between the Burrow can't pick up a damn thing with his hand, Jamar Chase turning down money, to them not wanting being pictured walking to their practice field because they think it's embarrassing. Their coach retracting statements after like 2 days. Like, dude, they're a freaking disaster. So the 6, you think Andy Reid's not putting Burrowhead all around the locker room? That team's gonna come out pissed off. I love the Chiefs in this one. By the way, Zach Taylor 1-10 in his first 2 weeks as a head coach.
Wow,
1-10.
Damn. All right, Sunday night game. This game's actually exciting, man. I'm looking forward to this game. It's the Houston Texans at home. They're favored by 6.5 over the Chicago Bears. It's a big number. Mario, I'm gonna let you go first.
For people bet the under in the first half, and then as soon as you win that, double it by betting the over in the second half. Because in that second half, this Bears defense is going to get just absolutely dwindled down by the Texans offense, and Texans are really going to take control of the game. It's going to be an ugly game. Texans are going to cover. It's going to be close early because the Bears defense is going to hang on for dear life, and I think they're just going to start breaking through in the second half. It's going to be a bad Twitter day for Chicago.
With Mario on this one, when I saw that Joe Mixon was as good as he was the other day, I'm like, oh, the Texans might be like the second best team in the AFC. Like they might be that good. Dalton Schultz, I believe, is the 5th target on that team, who's a very good tight end. They just have too many weapons. I like the Texans big in this game.
I'm with you guys going Texans as well. Monday night game. It's the Eagles against the Falcons. Eagles are favored by 6.5. I'll go first this one. I'll take the Eagles. I'm not a fan of the Falcons. I think people in Atlanta are extremely disappointed. They're already all over Kirk Cousins. I don't know what Atlanta was doing the other day, but right now I'm going to go with the Eagles.
I'm going to go with the Falcons to cover and the Eagles to win. I don't think either team is as good as people make them out to be. This is the Michael Vick game, Falcons-Eagles, but I'll go Falcons to cover.
Ooh, I love that. I hope they do something with that, the Michael Vick game. I didn't even think about that. Still, we'll die on the take. Michael Vick, Eagles was so sick. Give me Eagles in this one. Vikings look like they had a lot of issues to still figure out, and going in Philly, one of the toughest places to play, doesn't scream out to me you're going to figure that out there. So give me the Eagles to cover in that one. Wouldn't bet that, though. Not even with...
I would never touch this game.
Yeah, not even if you took, I don't know, whoever you hate the most in the world's money. I wouldn't bet that.
Last game. This is the big game for all of us, the one we care about the most. It's the Chargers. This game, again, the point spread has changed dramatically. Chargers are favored by 3.5 when the line's open. Has moved up to Chargers favored by 6 over the Panthers on the road. Again, it's a 10 a.m. start Pacific time. I'll let you go first, Josh, on this one. Where are you going? Give me a score and everything as far as Chargers.
Yeah.
Panthers.
So I'm not just saying this because I'm a Charger fan, but I don't know how the hell you don't bet this game. Like, I'm actually going to place a bet on this game, and I never bet on any game ever. What do you say the spread was 6?
6.
How is that possible, man? I'm going Chargers 31-10, and I think that's a low. Like, I think the Chargers are just going to beat the hell out of them. 31-10, my offensive player of the game is Gus Edwards. I'm taking Dave's guy, but I think he's just going to have multiple touchdowns in this game. And my defensive player of the game is going to be Derwin James, at least 1 sack.
Ooh, I love that. All right, so my final score prediction is going to be 27-3. I think they literally get a field goal maybe in the third quarter. I think that's what happens with it. I think Bryce Young's going to end up throwing a pick in this game. I predict that he's going to get sacked 5 times in this game. I think this is going to be another game. I know people think Bosa is questionable. I think he's going to play again, and we're going to see another great Bosa performance. I'm curious to see how much they do blitz because I think our front's will be able to get home without blitzing in this one. J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards both get a touchdown. I think Herbert throws for 205 yards. I'll go exact for you. And I think Joshua Palmer gets in the end zone too. So my 3 guys that score, Gus, JK, Joshua Palmer, they all 3 get in the end zone. And Chargers win 27-3.
Like
27-3. All right, I'm going Chargers win 38-10. 38-10. That's a big score right there for the Chargers. At the same time, Gus Edwards, as I told you at the beginning of the show, is my offensive player of the week. And the defensive player of the week is going to be Asante Samuel Jr. He's just going to end up getting one of those passes thrown to him that, hey, all of a sudden I just got a ball thrown to me. I can't believe it. I'm going to have a pick 6. It's going to be one of those where he's going to be shocked to get it. And again, it's kind of what Bryce Young and the Panthers do. I'm going calling touchdown for Asante Samuel Jr.
Ooh, nice.
Like that.
All right, we got comments on the side.
Yeah.
All right, Wendell. There's no way I did this, but he said that when I played quarterback in high school, I ignored him. Dude, I would never do that to anybody. I'm a very nice person. I would never do that. If I did, I'm very, very sorry about that.
Do you know which Wendell that is?
Do you?
Well, I wasn't on the team. I want to hear if you ignored him.
He was a youth football player at the time, so I didn't know
Okay.
Wendell at the time. Don't do that. Come on now.
I like Wendell. I like the grudge that you held on with this. So please keep it. Please, yeah. I like this.
Yeah. There's no way. I mean, dude, seriously, I would never ignore anybody. I'm not that guy at all.
Nah, I'm that guy, Wendell, but Josh is a nice guy.
Dave's nice too. He wouldn't do that either. All right. Isaiah Francis says, Oh, $9.99 from Isaiah Francis. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. We all appreciate that. It says, do y'all think a trade for Mark Andrews is plausible? Also, Dave, can you stop sending me these one-sided trades for AJ Brown? You're not getting him. Be ready to eat shit. You're going down this week. Do I think?
As I appreciate the super chat, though, I'll take that.
Yeah. Mark Andrews, is that a guy you'd want, or do you think that would even happen?
I don't think it happens. I love Mark Andrews. I don't know what it is with Lamar Jackson. I mean, the hash marks that are in the field, down the field. Like I think Lamar Jackson only looks between those hash marks when he's deciding to make a pass. It's insane. No matter who you stick it as his tight end, that's who he focuses on. Like, does he have the worst peripheral vision of all time? Does he never see an out route? I mean, look how many receivers he's had over the years. You're like, oh man, wait till he gets Odell Beckham Jr. Look at Hollywood Brown. I mean, what the hell's going on? Unless you're right between the hash marks, Lamar Jackson's not going to see you. But if you're a tight end that stays between the hash marks, man, it's going to be your day. I love Mark Andrews. At the same time, I drafted him in every damn league I have. I think this might be the end of Mark Andrews over there. I think he is a new favorite target.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Isaiah Likely is just the guy going forward. The reason why I think Lamar Jackson throws the middle of the field is because that's the only thing he can really do consistently. He doesn't throw the sides. And also, I think the Ravens also put everybody in the middle of the field so he can run to the outside. That just looks like what the Ravens do on every single play. I would not want Mark Andrews, though.
Lamar Jackson would be the worst point guard ever. Dude, I'm wide open. Did you see the 3-1 break right here?
I also just can't imagine that the Harbaughs would want to do a trade with each other when they play each other this year. I feel like that's just not even close to the books. I could be way off. You know what I mean? I feel like they would they bring it up at the dad had to get involved, and then the next the dad's negotiating.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Just a quick one right here.
This one comes from Eclipse Freak 7 199. Says, damn, I love you guys. Honesty is key. That's the one thing that we all agreed to when we started the show was be yourself and then be honest, which is, being yourself, say how you feel. And I like to say that we do that every single show. And hopefully you guys do appreciate that. What do you got? What else? This next one's from Mike G. He said, $5 from Mike G. Says Colin Coward said Herbert and Lamar are underrated. I don't agree. Thoughts? Do you agree or do you disagree, Mario?
Like, aren't they properly rated?
I think both guys are properly rated. I would agree with you there.
Yeah.
I don't think Lamar is underrated at all. I mean, if anything, Herbert might be, but Lamar is 2 MVPs.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, how can he be underrated when he won 2 MVPs?
And doesn't win in the playoffs.
Look, Charger fans are going to hate what I'm going to say right now. I just told you if I was going to buy a jersey, it would be a Justin Herbert jersey. Like, I'm extremely happy Justin Herbert's on the team. I think there are a lot of people, if you do not like the Chargers, that means teams inside your division. Like, there's someone doing It's Always Sunny in Denver podcast today talking about the Broncos who thinks Justin Herbert's overrated, right? There's somebody in Las Vegas who's doing it. It's Always Sunday in Las Vegas podcast right now talking about the Raiders going, this guy's overrated. His numbers are great. Justin Herbert's individual numbers are great. But again, until you get playoff wins and you make a run towards the Super Bowl, then the overrated category starts to follow you. So I can understand what other people might say about Justin Herbert. We know Justin Herbert's really good. Justin Herbert has basically, his hands have been tied by the roster that's been around him, by the crappy coaches he's had. I still don't believe this is Justin Herbert's best year. We haven't seen Justin Herbert's best year, and I don't think we're going to see it for another 2 to 3 years when the front office figures out how to surround him with elite talent. But I think when it's all said and done, Justin Herbert's going to be in that category of a top 2 quarterback in the league. I think he's that good.
Yeah, I think people don't consider Justin Herbert on Josh Allen's level. And I think Justin Herbert is every bit as good as Josh Allen is. And people want to make Josh Allen to be Superman, which is just because that team needs him to be Superman. The Chargers don't need Justin Herbert to be Superman this year to win.
Yeah.
AK's question, Mario says, will Justin Herbert throw for 300 yards this game? Do you think he throws for 300 yards?
No.
Just 205.
Yeah, I don't think he'll ever throw 300 this year. I'd be really surprised.
Wow.
I just don't think it's going to happen.
And I don't think it's not his fault. Who's he going to bring him to?
Yeah.
I mean,
we've had Justin Herbert throw for like 500 yards and we lose. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You just said something a second ago there, Josh. I'm curious to know, Mario, what you think as well. I never think of Justin Herbert and Josh Allen as a comp. Would you say they're a comp?
Well, I mean, they're NFL quarterbacks, of course.
Well, they're NFL quarterbacks, but like Josh Allen, I don't look at as I think Justin Herbert's a better passer. Josh Allen, I mean, I think all of us, even Buffalo fans, I think it's only a matter of time before he's injured seriously. I mean, you run down the 405 freeway enough, eventually you're going to get hit by a car. You know what I'm saying? Like what the Bills are, I mean, seriously, it's your best asset, yet you put him in harm's way every single week.
So the thing about Josh Allen is he reminds me of Cam Newton. Like it's good until it isn't. You know, like he this guy's running. I think Justin Herbert, if he wanted to, could do the same things when he runs all over the field. But Justin Herbert knows his career just won't last. The same with Josh Allen. Like, dude, your career is not going to last. You keep taking these hits. It's literally like getting in a car accident every single time you take an NFL hit. Justin Herbert, to me, is just smarter. And Josh Allen, the running all over the field has not amounted to anything. They haven't even made the Super Bowl. So I'm thinking Justin Herbert is better than Josh Allen. How about that? And I also think Justin Herbert's going to be playing longer than Josh Allen.
I agree with both those.
I think especially this year, Buffalo is just asking a lot of Allen this year.
Too much.
Yeah, too much. Like if they're kind of in similar situations, if you will, where like Chargers are kind of reconstructing for their future, sort of like the Bills, trying to find like the next second window with Josh Allen. But the difference is Chargers are doing this, going, Herbert, we're going to focus on running the football. And the Bills are doing, hey, Josh Allen, we're going to do this, and we're still going to need you to be like Josh Allen, but like times 2, which I just don't think is fair to Allen. And that's why like I just don't see him. I don't want it to happen because I love him as a player, but I just see some injuries happening like when later down the road when, let's say, you know, maybe it flares up on him, where it might look back to this year going, God, dude, he took a lot of hits. A lot of hits, you know.
It goes back to the beginning of the show when you say, "Oh, my guy won MVP, but then he retired 3 years later." Like, okay,
yeah,
congrats. Like, what does that mean? That team to me is one of the worst rosters in the NFL. Like, Josh Allen's might win MVP, and they like aren't going to win anything.
Josh Allen, I think, is also trying in his mind is F Stephon Diggs, right? Diggs called him 100%. Out. Diggs is with another team on to prove I can win without that guy. I think there's a lot to prove on the table. I'll throw a player out there, even though he didn't play quarterback. By the way, I want to see Justin Herbert because he has the ability to run. He's capable of it. Do you remember? Again, I feel like I'm talking to people I have no idea what I'm talking about. There are people who are in this chat will know. Steve McNair, when he was with the Titans, he turned it on to run when he had to in the postseason. Like it was a whole different aspect that wasn't on tape because he saved his body for the postseason when, hey, I got to do it. I got to use my legs. It would not surprise him if Justin Herbert becomes that kind of guy. But I'm going to throw a guy at you guys, and he was a Charger for like 1 season, but he was Defensive Player of the Year, and he was ridiculous. But it looked like he was tackling cars on the freeway. I know
you're going to say.
And then his career was over fast. Bob Sanders. Bob Sanders was ridiculous for the Colts that 1 year, and it was like, how long can this last? And it didn't. It was over so fast because his body took such a beating.
Yeah, that's a great example. And people forget he was on the Chargers. We have another comment here from Tim. Tim, I got to tell you, buddy, your comment the other day, I put it on my Twitter account. It was my favorite comment we've ever got for this show. It was the best thing ever. But your question or your comment today is $10. It says, if the Chargers had this year's defense the last 4 years, Herbert would be considered number 2 quarterback in the league behind Mahomes, and that's worst case scenario. I'll go one step further. If the Chargers had this year's defense and Jim Harbaugh, he would be considered top 3 from everyone, because that's the 2 things he's been missing is a good defense and a solid head coach.
Dude, I hate to say what if, Mario, I'm cutting you off. Dude, imagine if he had Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Imagine if he had a tight end that was a pass catching tight end. I mean, there'd be and the defense. I mean, now we are really talking seriously about how far this team could go this year.
Yeah, I agree with that. If he had the weaponry, if they're in the win no mode they were, 2-3 years ago with Harbaugh, like we talking about a different story here with Justin Herbert. But now we're in this window, and like I said, only like better things gonna happen. We've said multiple times in the show. I don't think Herbert's best years are behind him. I think they're far and away ahead of him. And we're at one point we're gonna get a Mahomes down year. Just gotta take advantage of it,
I don't think that's ever gonna happen, ever.
When I say down year, I mean like
he doesn't win the Super Bowl or MVP. What is that supposed to mean?
like bad luck just happens to him. You know what I mean?
I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Bad luck.
I don't think so. I've never seen I've never seen this bit before, Mario, in professional sports. And I'm talking about LeBron and Kobe. I've never seen a guy either win the Super Bowl or win the MVP like every year he's been in the league. It's unreal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how long does Reed have, Like Reed could.
That's the one. That's the thing. Him and Travis Kelce. I want to see what happens when they step away.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if I'm Reed, like, and I get one more, why not just call it? You know what I mean?
He's not going to. What's he going to do? Seriously.
TV,
having the time of his life.
commercials, eat burgers.
You couldn't fit him and another guy in a booth. What are you talking about?
I don't know, man.
See that jacket? I could cover my entire car with that jacket he wears.
And before we get out of here, I got to make a statement. I've been waiting to make this statement the entire show.
You leaving the show?
I am for today. All right. If any of you out there think for 1 second that Shannon Sharpe didn't do that on purpose, you are out of your mind. You are out of your mind.
Where you're going,
dude. You don't just leave your phone on Instagram Live and purposely or like accidentally set it up next to the bed where you're putting in work. Like he 100% did that on purpose. Then he goes on the show with Chad Johnson and talks about how he's just an active male. Dude, he had the whole thing planned out. Like, and I thought it was kind of cool actually the way he did it. Like he did sound like DMX. But yeah, I thought he 100% he planned that, right? We can all agree that Shannon Sharpe did that on purpose. Yeah.
It's weird. The first time he pushed Instagram Live, you happened to be going to town. He wasn't in Costco in the fruit section. You know what I mean? Like the one time you happened to push that button, okay, it was an accident. All right, you weren't like, what the hell, dude? There are a million things you could have done throughout your day, picking out your tie for tomorrow, anything. But that just happens to be it. Show everybody that you're getting down. Come on.
I will also say, like, I love that, like, he didn't apologize for it. It was just like, yeah, I was being a man. I was like, it's pretty funny. And, like, how's Paul Pierce feel?
Oh, Paul Pierce. That's the first guy I thought about. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Paul Pierce is psycho, by the way.
Explain the Paul Pierce thing. I'm lost.
He had, like, strippers. He had, like, strippers or, like, I can't remember if it was strippers, but he was like boozing and there was a naked woman. Like
it was strippers.
Yeah, strippers like on him, and ESPN like let go of him because of it. Because they're like, yeah, you can't be doing that. But like I think Sharpe's also on a freelance contract with them, if I could be mistaken.
I bet he's more valuable. Was Paul Pierce getting his lap dances in his fake wheelchair when he pulled that crap with the Lakers? Come on. Give me a break. I can't stand Paul Pierce.
I can't stand him either.
I don't like him either. He's like a guy, again, another guy. Like, he's a Hall of Famer, but, like, barely.
It was upset he didn't get his farewell tour.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Like, dude.
Couldn't believe he didn't get a farewell tour.
The only people that care about you are in Boston. Yeah. Like, shut up.
There you go. Yeah, not a Paul Pierce guy. All right.
No.
We'll be back. Look, here's the deal. On Sunday, we're asking you guys a lot here. It's a morning game, okay? So when the game's over, we're going to go live. And we want to we want to read your comments. We want you guys to participate in the show. Understand they're going to be afternoon games. This is how you're going to do it. You're going to put mute on the TV. You can still watch the afternoon games, but you're going to go and you're going to listen to this and you're going to participate. If we have to do it, you have to do it. We're all in this together, okay? We're all in this together, and that's the way it's going to go. Hopefully, I'm lighting up a cigar. We're going to celebrate a victory. Chargers going to go 2-0 on the season. Get ready for the Steelers the following week. And we're going to run through that wall. Yeah, here we go.
Listen. This is what you do. You wake up in the morning. You give your kids cereal. You tell them to shut your mouth and eat your cereal until the Chargers win. All right? Then you go to Starbucks. You get the tall or venti or the big one. Vanilla sweet cream cold brew. You get that. You sit in your seat. You have a blueberry muffin if it's your cheat day. And you drink it. And you yell, "Go Bolts." That's what you do. And then you subscribe to the Bull Crew podcast right after.
I love it. I like it. Yeah. I don't speak Starbucks either, Mario. I don't know how to order on the goddamn menu, man. Good for you. I want the big one.
Yeah.
Aren't you at work right now? Why are you allowed to yell at work like that?
It might be fired. You see how many messages he's getting? They might be saying we need to see an HR right now. Where are you? All right, we'll let Mario go. Hopefully Mario's still employed next time we talk to him as well. All right, again, thanks everyone for participating. Appreciate the comments. If you aren't watching the show live or you watch it live and we didn't get to something, if you leave a comment in YouTube, we will sit there and we will respond to you. So thank you so much. Chargers looking to go 2-0. We're looking forward to seeing you Sunday as well. For Mario Heron, Josh Palais, I'm Dave Palais. We'll see you in a couple days.